This is Dr. Ariel Policano. It is my great pleasure to be with you every week. Every week, this call is free. We support the Genius community. I want you guys to use the Genius as much as possible in your practice and in your personal life. So we bring you unique ways of using the program. The Genius Insight is available for at most between $1,000 and $2,000. $2,000 will get you a complete system. We give you ongoing support. I've been doing this support and training for the last 5 years. You can go to my website, awakentotalhealth.com, to find out more. So go to my website, awakentotalhealth.com. You know, there is a little bit of confusion because I do work closely with the developer, which is at a different website, but we work as a team. So going to my website, awakentotalhealth.com, and seeing the offerings that I have available there is a way to support my work and my training. Also, referring folks directly to my website and getting your 20% commission from me is another way, and it's fully supported by the developer. So if you want to work with me as an affiliate, there's an affiliate link in the chat area. And you can be on both of our affiliate programs. So no matter where the person goes, they use your link and you do get credit. And I'm paying out checks of, $400. Actually, I paid out a check for over $400 the other day, getting lots of, referrals, and people are getting compensated, and it's sort of a win-win for everyone. So let's see if we can get the camera on here, you guys, and just saying good morning, good welcome. I got a lot of stuff to tell you about. Hey, you guys, good morning, good morning, good day, welcome. Just saying good welcome. Let's just get the sharing figured out a little bit here. Main screen, there we go. Okay, so let's get this a little bit neater there. All right, so a couple of things to tell you guys about. I did want to work on your friend Lloyd, Karen, so why don't we work on him anyway? Why don't you just tell me what's going on with him and he can watch the recording because I have him queued up. If you have somebody you want me to work on, go ahead and send me your name and date of birth, or their name and date of birth if they've given you permission. Beatrice, thanks for being here. Candy, get in touch with me. I have a new office in Portland, and I'd love for you to come visit, and we can get a small class going there. Or you may already be in Phoenix, in which case I'm going to be in San Diego. You guys come visit me in San Diego at the end of April. I'm going to get that link up for you. I really need your support, so if you can't make it, please let other people in the community know about this live training. I am trying to get a live stream set up for that so that people can live stream and support it on the live stream and get it recorded. But I don't have that set up, and I need some really great people to attend. I do think it's going to sell out because we do only have 20 seats available, and we've got a lot of them filled, but I could really use your support in getting the word out. I'd really, really appreciate it. I'm just trying to get the link up here. And I do have a few goodies to give away. So this is if you want to learn the system of how to do cases, and you want to get that in person from someone like myself, where you have someone to ask questions live, to do hand holding, and we're going to actually solve particular cases. And we're going to do specific protocols so that you learn a system. So if you want to learn a system more than just the how to push the buttons and things like that, please come to my live training in San Diego. So this is going to be fun. Meet people that you connect with for a lifetime. It's a beautiful area. We have a beautiful space with our wonderful Liza is providing a space for us for these days. We're going to have a community event on Friday. Then we go all day Saturday and all day Sunday for our class. So this is going to be tremendous. It's going to be very, very exciting. So join me in San Diego if there's any way possible that you can be there. You can read the reviews of the people who came to the June class, and they've had a great time. In fact, Liza was there for the June class, and she still wanted me to do another training. So we've had wonderful reviews from the last class that I did. And what we're going to give away is we're going to have golden ticket giveaways for people who have signed up. In fact, I may do some giveaways even before the class starts. So we're going to have some golden ticket giveaways. You get a few golden tickets with every sign up. With your sign up, you get 3 golden tickets. And so we'll do some giveaways of really exciting things, maybe an iPad, some great things that you can use like Remedy Plate and so forth. Things you'll want to use, a chakra imprinting system so you can imprint some chakra crystals for people. So we have the giveaways, and then I'm actually, if you sign up before March 11th, you're going to get a $50 certificate you can use for your Genius, or you can use that towards classes or even towards a second license. So definitely get signed up for the class before March 11th, and then it's going to be April 27th through the 29th. We're going to have a free program on Friday night, and then Saturday and Sunday we'll be going all day. So we're going to be doing the adrenal tonifying protocol, the hormonal harmonizing protocol, home clearing, increasing your success and abundance, helping you to rejuvenate your endocrine system. We're actually going to be doing those live in person, and then giving you time to practice that live with hands-on sessions. We're going to be talking a lot about the water remedy method. And I'm finding, you guys, that the water remedy imprinting is one of the most important, you guys, because what the water remedy allows you to do is to imprint your remedy in the morning and take it with you for the rest of the day. So that is truly important. I'm having a little charging issue here, charging up the iPad. So that is really, really important, because then it only takes you a couple of minutes to get your remedy ready for the day. So imprinting is really important. That's programming the water with intentional frequency. So we need to talk more about this imprinting, and we're going to do that down in San Diego. So definitely check out that class, you guys. And then we're going to have our Genius Summit, which is an online event, which is totally free. And that is going to be March 21st through the 23rd. So Wednesday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Facebook. You'll receive links to that. And then we'll be doing that live. I'll be interviewing different practitioners and users in the community. So I'm very excited about that. So we've got a lot of really amazing things coming up. All right, so let's get that. Okay. Get all of that set up. We got this. All right, so we've got the Genius Summit. We've got the San Diego event. We've got the Practitioner 2 training going on now, which you can still join. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that. Thanks, you guys, for all participating in that program. All right, so let's just see what you guys have to say here. You have some questions, some comments, and let's see. Okay, Lloyd is on the speakerphone, so why don't we just get his voice recording then, Karen? Why don't I unmute you? Welcome, Elizabeth D. Thank you so much for being here. And Kathy K. from Seattle is here. She's probably traveling somewhere. PT is here. Welcome. Sandra, who was at the training in Portland. Thank you for being here. Shirley J. is here from Canada, and Tracy is going to be speaking at our summit. Mary Lee, I hope you'll be flying into San Diego. It would be wonderful to see you again. Now let's see if we can get Karen here and talk to Lloyd, get his voice recording. Karen, are you there?
I absolutely am. Thank you, Ariel. How are you?
Well, I'm so excited to talk to Lloyd and work on what's going on with him.
Awesome. I'm so glad we're up in Saskatoon, and he's been a longtime friend. So we're and helping me get all the colonic and the center together here. So Lloyd is live, and I'll let you talk to him directly. We're having some thyroid and heart issues, so low energy, very gray. So that's why the colonic room is getting done. So Lloyd, Ariel, Lloyd.
Hi, Lloyd. How are you?
Well, I've got low thyroid, if you know what I'm talking about.
Yes, yes. Let's record.
Not many men have low thyroid. They normally have high.
That's correct. Well, more women deal with thyroid issues than men, so you are very much correct. And what's going on with your heart?
Yeah, I've had thyroid since I'm about 13 years old.
You've had I'm sorry, say that again?
I've had an underactive thyroid since I'm 13 years old.
Oh, and what's going on with your heart?
Well, I had open heart 5 years ago.
Oh my goodness. Okay, that's a lot, and that's a big deal. So you're still probably taking medications and so forth.
No. I quit taking that medication 3 months
Wow.
after I had open heart.
Oh, you're courageous. Okay, let's record your voice, Lloyd. So I'm going to cue you in just a second. I just got to actually switch the microphone here. So I'm just going to turn the camera off for 1 second, you guys. Okay, so Lloyd, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cue you and I'm just going to have you say your name out loud. You can just say your first name because this is recorded and played over again. So if you want to just say, my name is Lloyd, and then just keep repeating A-E-I-O-U. Are you ready?
Yeah.
And 3, 2, 1, I'm recording.
My name is Lloyd, A-E-I-O-U. 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 My name is Lloyd,
Perfect, Lloyd.
A-E-I-O-U.
That's perfect. Excellent. Okay, that's great. So, Lloyd, I have enough information to actually start my work. I'm going to do some testing and scanning, and then we'll come back and we'll talk to you a little bit further as I get further in the case. Is that okay with you?
Perfect.
Okay, I'm going to mute you guys. And Lloyd, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, fantastic. So that's really interesting that he was hypothyroid at such a young age, isn't it? So that's something that we definitely want to think about. Now, just give 1 second there. Now, what I want to do is just mention, in the chronic cases class, we're working a lot on this. We'll do some testing from the chronic cases area and talk a bit about it. All right, let's get the camera back on. We got the libraries added. We got all kinds of fun things. And so the first question in my mind, and this is fine to ask as a practitioner, you guys, even if you're not a doctor or a nutritionist, as a biofeedback practitioner, you're working in the energetic field and you have just as much right to ask all of these questions as me. And this should be your natural curiosity. And I'm sure a lot of you brilliant minds, Kristen, who she came to the Portland training. Kristen, it's good to have you on today. Our brilliant minds are thinking, well, what happened to him when he was 13? And so maybe, Lloyd, when we come back to you, we can ask that. I mean, 13 is kind of a really important age. It's the beginning of puberty. It's like it's sort of that junior middle high school. It's like sort of an awkward stage. A lot of things can happen. Might have been parents' divorce, might have been some environmental thing. I mean, gosh, you wonder if he was exposed to radiation, but something definitely affected him at that stage if he was diagnosed with so you just want to be asking that question in your mind. You're just curious, right? A really good biofeedback practitioner is a really good, curious person. If you're naturally sort of a nosy body, if you like to ask questions and get to the root cause, you sort of have a probing mind. This makes you a very good biofeedback practitioner. So thyroid and heart stuff can go together as well. You guys, sort of a joint part of what I do is to teach people about good food for having good health. And I have found no better food plan for people who are sick in order to get well than a plant-based food plan. A plant-based food plan does mean that the person avoids meat, dairy, oil, etc., and oil being one of the most important. And I was just reviewing a study. The reflector is lagging. I was just reviewing a really interesting study that talked about comparing saturated fat to monounsaturated fat like olive oil. And both of them increased clotting factors in the very same way. So both olive oil and a saturated fat, animal fat oil, increases your clotting factors in the same way. So if someone is working on a heart condition, I highly recommend that they stay away from oil. There's a tremendous amount of confusion about this because of the money that goes into, it sounds crazy, but the olive oil industry. It's a huge multi-billion dollar industry, and they get lots of studies that say that olive oil is very good for you. And in fact, my 93-year-old aunt has made tremendous progress by adopting a plant-based diet at her age. She says it's like how she used to eat in Italy before she came over, and she loves it. She's eating kidney beans and escarole and all sorts of wonderful things, and we've made tremendous progress. And then her doctor told her she should have 1 teaspoon of olive oil per day, and that, you guys, is a recipe for disaster. So no oil, no plant, no meat, dairy, or oil, you guys, and you will see people get tremendously better, whether it's cancer or heart disease. And I'll always talk more about that. I'm trying to get more articles out so you can read some of the studies that I've reviewed. Okay, so looking at Lloyd now, we see very, very interesting chemical sensitivities. Fascinating. Digestion. Remember, you guys, we're talking about this in the chronic healing chronic cases class, which is going on right now. You can still join it. And we're talking about digestion is the #1 reason that people get cancer or any type of chronic illness. It might be fibromyalgia, it might be Parkinson's. It's always something that starts in the digestive system. So we see that his gut microbiome is out of balance. We want to take that and we want to put it into the main whole tray. That's really important because we're going to use it when we get to progressive insights. And he's got an enzyme issue. So this could be because of the density of the food that he's consuming. He may have an enzyme deficiency, or the enzymes might be asking to be featured because this could help him to reduce inflammation in his body. We've got sort of a mild pancreatic issue here at 611. We go down, definitely something going on in the stomach. So this could be not being able to digest protein. This could be a reflux issue. This could be just some type of digestive issue. It could be an ulcer. We don't know. It could be an infection. Okay. So we've got that. And then let's just see what else we've got. Glands at 645. We always look at things over 600. We've got, we can look at today's stress. We've got herbs, electrical sensitivities. Now that is going to be a direct association with the heart. There's a wonderful, very, very short book called Dirty Electricity. You can get it on Amazon. And it talks about when we electrified the United States between 1900 and 1920, you see the escalation of cancer and diabetes. Cancer and heart conditions, cancer and cardiovascular conditions escalated sharply with a sharp curve between 1900 and 1920. And we also see that same curve represents the electrification adoption around the United States. So electrical sensitivities do have a very, very strong connection to the heart. So we would want to think that electrical appliances, this could possibly be a microwave. It could be other electrical appliances. It's not really clear. Fluorescent light. So he may want to look at the light situation around him. And of course, cutting out the blue light at night. What I think I pulled, I wanted to pull the glasses, right? The blue blocking glasses, the ones that have the yellow amber lenses are very, very good for that. And Wi-Fi. You guys, I really make it a point to turn off the wireless at night, especially. Night in building biology is the most important time. It's the time that our body needs to rest. You want to be most disconnected from the Wi-Fi. Unplug it, whatever you can do to get away from it at night. Distance adds benefit in electrical sensitivities, you guys. Even if you live close to whatever it is, or if you have Wi-Fi somewhere, the further you get away from it, the less of the effect, and it falls off in the inverse square law, so it falls off very quickly. Johnny T, I just wanted to welcome you. I know you just got your Genius System, and I'm really glad you're attending the classes, so warm welcome to you. And Joanne, who's joining us from Trinidad, thank you so much for being here. I think I got that right. No, correct me if I'm wrong. Thank you so much for being here. We haven't seen you in a while, and it's so good to have you. Let's peek at the aura for a second here and just see what's going on. It's interesting, the aura actually is in sort of a deficient state. And let's just go ahead and begin the analysis, and let's snap a picture of that. This is always good to do at the beginning of your sessions. So we're thinking about cardiovascular, we're thinking about thyroid. Let's look at some of those panels in particular next, and we'll go from there. So go ahead and, wow. Okay, so this always makes me think that Karen has been doing some pre-work. Karen is our wonderful practitioner from Saskatchewan, very, very talented, very, very good at working with the genius. And I suspect that she's been working on Lloyd in the interim, because you've got this sort of a beautiful rainbow effect here. This looks like someone who's receiving some wonderful frequencies and assistance. So this looks really, really good, you guys. And we just want to want to enhance it from here. What I do see is maybe a little bit of fuzziness over here in this area, and then a little bit of density and sort of fuzziness that could be improved down here. So we'll get to that. So we snapped a picture of that. Now let's go to some of the customized libraries. Well, we actually have them here. And we're going to do a complete test, and then we're going to search for the ones we want, which are involved in the heart and the thyroid. So let's go ahead and we just want to wait for this to switch, and then we're going to type in right up here. For those of you who've received my libraries, you can just type in the one that you want to test. So let's just look at thyroid assessment for a moment and see what comes up here. Hashimoto's. So I guess we'd want to know, has Lloyd been tested for antibodies, for the anti-peroxidase antibodies, for the thyroglobulin antibodies, and then an emotional issue? So Lloyd, what happened? Anything come to mind at 13? It could be something you don't think is a big deal, but is there even a minor issue that happened at 13 that we could just maybe have some insight? A liver imbalance. So always make the liver better when you're working on thyroid, because the thyroid hormone that comes from your thyroid gland is converted in the liver, a large part in the liver, to T3, which is active thyroid hormone. Then we go down here and let's look at the lower issue here. So this is interesting. So Lloyd, do you have any dental fillings, any silver fillings? And interesting, I just said the liver issue, conversion of T4 to T3. So when your thyroid pops out its thyroid hormone, if it does that piece correctly, actually will all around the rest of the body, it needs to convert it to T3. And so that is really important. It's done in the liver and also in the gut, interestingly enough. So the gut and the liver have to be working correctly. Toxic nodular goiter just tells us more issues going on in the thyroid, sort of some irritation, inflammation going on there. For some reason, a T4 deficiency. Now, the T4 deficiency could be because of this hypothalamic pituitary axis issue, and that gets into a whole other ball of wax that's real interesting, you guys, because the thyroid and then a men's reproductive system, so men's hormones and so forth, testosterone, thyroid, and adrenals are all connected in a triangle, a related triangle. And so there's probably an adrenal issue, or it even could be PTSD, some past trauma that is affecting cortisol that is now affecting the thyroid. Also, excessive cortisol, sort of being stressed out over a long period of time, will suppress the thyroid. Let's just see anything else that is important to know here. Possibly the dental toxicity. Let's bring that down into the progressive insights. You guys, the testing that you're doing here is our pre-test. This is where we're getting things that are interesting. This is where we're getting things that we want to know more about. But we're going to retest them in our progressive insights. So now let's just go to some other pieces here, like, for example, thyroid solutions. Let's find out. There's always two parts to every piece of the puzzle, you guys. We're looking at what is the causative thing, what are the frequencies that are causing the issue, and what will help us to resolve the issue. And that's why my testing libraries can be helpful for people. Elizabeth, I know you just told me that you ordered this Dr. C7. This is something that if you email me, I can help you to get that. It's something that I do carry, but I just don't advertise a lot, and you can get it online as well. That is not a problem at all. And you can go to awakentotalhealth.com, hit the contact me button, and I'll get right back to you. This is a mix of sea vegetables that act as an antioxidant, that act as an iodine supply. You guys, the more that I learn, and I've been through, over a decade, well over a decade now, really 15 years, of reviewing nutritional information, nutritional supplementation. I really loved it when I went through naturopathic school and we learned about just like a whole sea of supplements, you know, all of these different things, coenzyme Q10, and it just goes on and on and on, you know, all of the different amazing supplements. But you guys, the more that I've learned about supplements, the more I've turned back to that food is your best medicine. It sounds so cliche, but I've really found that it takes a long time to educate people about how to really feed their bodies. So we feed our bodies with good unprocessed food. Mostly comes down to vegetables, fruits, and some healthy grains and legumes and so forth. But also energetically, how do we support ourselves energetically? With enjoying our life, with meditation, and with biofeedback. We want to keep feeding ourselves good frequencies as well. So Dr. C7 is a good, it's a good food-based supplement. This is the autoimmune protocol. So it tells me that it's very likely that there's some autoimmunity factor in here. And we saw that with the Hashimoto's. Ashwagandha is really good for the immune system. Turmero is a turmeric and MCT, medium chain triglyceride mix, which is really interesting. And that helps to reduce any antibodies. So I'm more convinced than ever there is some antibody issue here. Now, this could happen from the gut. There could be a food allergy. For example, it says avoid potato. Now, I can be a really big potato support person, but some people do not do well with it. And for them, I recommend more rice and quinoa and millet and so forth. Unda 1000 is a drainage remedy. I'm not going to talk too much about it. Beta carotene. CBD oil from cannabis is an interesting one that is in the 200s, but that looks really interesting. Might be something that helps him to reduce inflammation. We're probably looking at the suppression of the thyroid due to a long-standing autoimmune condition. So one that may have in fact existed since 13 and has just been plaguing him ever since. So this is what I'm very suspicious about. I'd also include the selenium because part of the solution for any thyroid issue is usually some measure of selenium in the food. You get it from Brazil nuts and other nuts and seeds. Iodine, which would be like the Dr. C7, kelp, etc. Beta carotene is some form of natural food-based vitamin A, and having carrots every day. I mean, one carrot has 50,000 international units of vitamin A. And then vitamin D, so getting out and getting sunshine. These are the essentials for the thyroid. And then tyrosine is probably the only other one that I missed. So I didn't really see tyrosine as sort of not really super figured here. So those are things that are going on with the thyroid. Let's get a few more things that will give us some perspective. This master point actually has to do with premier research. It says hisonol. This is for underlying infections. So it's also possible that there's an underlying infection. Xenostat is more nutrition. That's more kelp. So there's definitely the pattern. Remember, biofeedback is about reading patterns. There's a pattern here of needing the sea vegetable nutrition. And, you know, up in Canada, being more sort of not maybe having as much exposure to the coast, this could definitely be an issue. We have this in the Midwest of the United States, calling it the Goyer Belt. So we did thyroid solutions. We did the thyroid MP. We could do thyroid markers just out of curiosity. Let's see what comes up here. Okay, we didn't really get a lot here. In fact, this particular panel could be a bit of a longer panel to get better results. Okay, now let's take a look at the heart. So we're going to go here and we're going to type in the heart. Do I have this under heart? Yeah. Okay, so let's just look at the heart assessment. Now, take this with a grain of salt, you guys. This is not exactly diagnostic. It's showing us more patterns and propensities, because sometimes this stuff can be kind of scary. So, okay, we have a little bit of a delay here. There we go. Thank goodness. Okay, so this is hypertension, a broken heart, residual effects. So Lloyd will have to, he doesn't have to disclose that if he doesn't want to, but that could definitely be an issue. You know, it's who has not had a broken heart at some point in their life? If you have not, then consider yourself among the few and the lucky. There's that vitamin A deficiency. And you guys, that's what I'm talking about with reading the patterns. We saw the beta carotene issue, and then we saw the vitamin A issue. You see how these things match? That's the type of consistency that you're looking for. You're not looking for an exact match with numbers, whereas if you repeat the test 2,000 times today, you're upset because you didn't get the same number every time. That's not what biofeedback is about. It's an energetic state where you're looking at the overall pattern. My assertion is that if you read the patterns well, you will get a better, more consistent reading than even lab work, because lab work is only right a fraction of the time as well. It's just our best guess putting together the symptoms and the results of the lab work at that time, which is really what biofeedback is. A methylation defect, so it'd be interesting to look at methylation. Let's look at those chronic panels in just a moment. Toxicity exposure, I would think this might be the dental issue. Hypertension due to kidney stress. Now we saw hypertension in a couple of places, right? So magnesium deficiency, magnesium will basically always help the heart, you guys. So I did talk about avoiding supplementation, but if somebody's sick, both eating a lot of green leafy vegetables, and I have no problem giving magnesium. I mean, it's really an innocuous supplement. So really good, like magnesium oxide or magnesium glycinate, magnesium taurate, those would all be good. That's going to help anybody with hypertension or any type of heart issue. There's really no downside. The only downside is if you take magnesium citrate, and that is going to make the bowels more loose. So we do magnesium taurate or magnesium glycinate. Sugar intake excessive. So this is something that the person needs to sort for themselves. I get a drink of water here. The person really needs to sort this for themselves. Not everybody will be as forthcoming. And it could be sugar in many different aspects. It could be sugar in alcohol. It could be sugar that's in a processed food that the person eats. So then we've got underlying inflammation. We've got glycosylation. So it looks like there is a blood sugar issue here as well. Heavy metal toxicity. So mercury is sort of our number one suspect right now. Possibly a valve issue, although that's not really confirmed. Let's do a couple more. Let's just do heart health solutions. So just for some interesting remedies, remember, we always want to know more about the causative, and then we want to know more about the solution. So this is DHA. We can get DHA from microalgae. This might help to reduce inflammation. D-ribose is a special kind of sugar, but it's very, very different from refined sugar. D-ribose helps the immune system, and it can help the heart. Red yeast rice in case cholesterol is high, but I really recommend a plant-based diet to just give up all meat, dairy. That includes fish and chicken. Fish and chicken raise cholesterol, okay? As does coconut oil, can actually raise your cholesterol. So be careful and cautious about consuming that as well. We've got a 3 on magnesium. This sort of confirms, and in fact, the magnesium will help if there's any hypertension. It'll help the heart for sure. Nattokinase is really good for the heart for decreasing inflammation. It is if anybody has any type of a heart issue and you're concerned about the inflammation in their system, nattokinase will help tremendously, and it will probably increase the ability of the blood to flow through the vessels enough that they may get off their blood thinning medication or hypertension medication. But be careful, because nattokinase can thin the blood, so you have to be careful if they're taking a blood thinning medication. I really do think that the advent of the medications in the 40s and 50s of the last century was our true undoing, you guys, forsaking the use of energetic medicine like homeopathy, but also diet. And if you read the Rice Diet by Walter Kempner, or just look up or Google the Rice Diet by Walter Kempner, right around the 20s and 30s, before the advent of the huge boost in the pharmaceutical industry, we actually used to try to resolve these issues through diet, because we didn't have any magical little pills where you paid a true side effect of taking them. So they had to use food. But the reason I'm telling you this is I think the most reprehensible drug out there is a Coumadin and these blood thinning medications, Coumadin being like rat poison. And these doctors telling their patients, don't eat leafy green vegetables because it could affect your clotting time, and you're on Coumadin. You need to be so careful, and don't eat, any garlic, and don't do this. And they will not ever take that person off a blood thinning medication once they've been on it because they fear for their own liability. So you guys, if you can help someone to avoid taking a blood thinning medication by helping them and encouraging them to get on a plant-based food plan, that is a true gift for life to them. Vitamin A, we see it again. So vitamin A affecting the heart, vitamin A affecting the thyroid. Very, very interesting. We see that again and again. Alpha lipoic acid, again, I've said, get your supplements from food, but interestingly enough, there are some grain-based foods and potato, although it did say to avoid potato, that has alpha lipoic acid. So eating a lot of fruits and vegetables can get you alpha lipoic acid, but if somebody is in a life-threatening condition, then they should take alpha lipoic acid for a while. All I'm saying is don't allow these supplements to be the substitute for a good food plan. It has to be the good food plan plus the supplements for a period of time. Okay, serrapeptase is another good enzyme. Now let's go ahead. I did want to just do one more, and then we're going to go into the progressive insights. I love this. Metaphysical frequencies are really fun to work with in the heart health frequency panels. And this is the perfectly functioning orbital velocities. Speaks to the vortices in the heart, aligning with the chestahedron. This is a wonderful sacred geometrical construct that's in the heart. You can look online for the chestahedron, kind of a little known sacred geometrical piece there. Expand the toroidal field. So that's our natural free energy construct or piece that's in the heart that helps the heart to work. We are much, much more controlled or navigated in consciousness through the toroidal field and the heart than the brain. There's much more electrical activity, you guys, in the heart than in the brain, right? That's the true brain, is the heart. Perfectly functioning autonomic vortex movement. So this is important, and we talked about this in the heart class, which is available for download, is that the heart is not really a pump. It's a series of vortices. It is a series of energetic movements in the body. And that's what your whole body is. It's an energy field. That is why energetic medicine is so powerful. Remember, we're electrical beings before we are chemical beings. And yet we have been mighty, mighty obsessed with our biochemistry. Even as naturopaths, we must look to the energetic being and attend to ourselves energetically, which is why biofeedback is so effective and so powerful. And we just have people checking in from all over the world these days, you guys, who are making incredible strides with the genius and with biofeedback. So with that, let's actually go to the progressive insights and let's see what is the #1 most important topic of all of the things that we've tested. You must utilize the progressive insights if you are to get really good, solid information. Do not just have your testing be relegated to the main whole tray. You must use the progressive insights. It is a second test that gives you stronger algorithms that you can rely on. So what this tells us is that magnesium is the #1 thing that he needs to look at. And it's likely that magnesium will help his thyroid and will help his heart. He's got sort of a potential valve issue that he needs to watch out for, but the magnesium may help with that, as well as attending to some of those electrical sensitivities. D-ribose is an important sugar for him. He's got to correct the energetics of his brain, that HPA axis, because he's got this T4 deficiency. This is energetic, affecting the velocities and the vortices of the body. He's got to attend to the dental toxicity. So let's find out about some of these things. Let's talk again to Lloyd for a moment, and then we'll move on to another case in just a few minutes. Okay, so Karen, how's Lloyd doing?
He's doing excellent, and he's still here live with us, on the phone. Go right ahead.
So Lloyd, yeah, what's your perspective about some of the things that we talked about?
Well, you see sugar levels. I haven't touched sugar in quite a while other than maple syrup.
Well, maple syrup is a form of sugar. How much maple syrup are you consuming?
Probably about 3 tablespoons a day.
Oh, that's a lot. That's pretty high.
Okay, well, how much should I take?
Well, let's just talk about some of these other pieces. What exactly is going on with your heart?
Well, I haven't taken heart medication since.
Oh, right. So then you really don't. Are you not aware then that you're maybe not having? Do you have any high blood pressure, or as far as you know, you're not having any high blood pressure?
No high blood pressure, no high cholesterol. I just have a form of stress. Let's put it that way.
Mm-hmm. When was the last time your blood pressure was measured? Not that I'm advocating you to go to see a doctor, but just out of curiosity.
Pressure was probably measured, I'd say, 2 months ago.
And what was it at that time?
It was normal.
Do you know, when you say normal, was it, say, 120 over 80?
The doctor said I was good. He was surprised. Like, you know, I
Okay, that's great. Okay, so yeah, just regarding, okay, so that's cool. So regarding the maple syrup, if you're having 2 tablespoons a day, that's going to be too much just because your body is telling us that's too much for right now.
okay.
So,
And
all
we
right,
got
so that's a good thing to change.
There's dental fillings to come out as well. That's obviously indicative, you know, which we've talked about, like Dr. Ed Mahan or something, removing the dental fillings because that's dumping into the thyroid.
Anything else about anything that we said, Lloyd, that you want to comment on, or are you good?
Well, I'm good, but like I told Karen earlier, I stopped taking my thyroid medication.
Uh-huh.
And he's doing kelp and nettles, and I'm just curious as to what happened at 13.
Oh, at 13? How come I got it? I've got no clue. But it's my mom had thyroid. Her sisters all had thyroid. As far as the heart issue, all the Ethiers have heart issues. So there you go. My whole family has got, on my mom's side we have thyroid, and on my dad's side we have heart problems. So there you go. I got double whammy.
Okay, and have you ever had your antibodies tested, Lloyd?
I have no clue what you're talking about.
Okay, yeah, I think, Karen, that's probably something that's good to look into.
Yeah, we can get a T3, T4, and all the antibodies and upticks.
Where were you living when you were 13?
I was living in St. Isidore de Bellevue, Saskatchewan.
In Saskatchewan, and what were you going to middle school at that time?
Oh yeah, I was going to school.
And any change? Did you move that year from one house to another?
No.
Did any grandparents or anybody pass away?
No.
And did anybody get divorced or anything like that?
No.
All right. Well, I know there's something in there somewhere, but I don't know that we're going to get to it in the next 30 seconds. Go ahead, Karen.
Well, that's just it. I don't recall anything other than getting.
Mine would be the pharmaceuticals, as in the pesticides around that rural area, because they were starting the Roundup, the Monsanto. This is a huge headquarters for all that kind of glyphosate. Everything's developed out here. So in those areas were a high concentration of the different pharmaceuticals, you know, i.e. pesticides, Roundup, etc. So that could be a causative factor. I mean, the Monsanto
those
fights are here.
Yeah, the chemical sensitivities piece did come up, and that's not just, you know, for anything that's happening at this time. Those could be things that are in the body, so that could definitely be happening as well.
And him being an electrician by profession is also another indicative of the electrical sensitivities.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he's an electrician. Okay, never mind. That explains everything. That actually explains everything. Well, the fact that he was from a young age is interesting, but no, one of my first cases, you know, of a man with a thyroid issue was this exact scenario. It's another electrician. You know, when you're out there working with these frequencies, Lloyd, it's doing a number on your thyroid. Every day that you're an electrician, it's definitely affecting your thyroid in a way that suppresses it. So yeah, that's definitely an issue. Are you still working as an electrician?
Oh yeah.
That's how we're going to get a colonic machine.
Yeah, I think that's going to help a lot. I don't see the sensitivities here, but you know, there you go. All right, so I think did that give you at least, Karen, some perspective and some confirmation of the things that you were thinking about?
That's exactly, because I mean, we talked about like going to Dr. Ed Mahan, who specializes in naturopath, just getting rid of the amalgams and stuff like that. And again, with
That
the
would be huge.
communications, throat chakra, all that. And then through the digestion, every time we do colon hydrotherapy, it removes a lot of those blockages, which allows more electrolyte or conductivity. And then the heart portal is on the ascending colon right underneath the liver. So it totally makes sense that that entire meridian is blocked right off till we get the colonics going. And then I can do some chelation in with bentonite zeolite through the colonic material. So yeah, perfect, absolutely perfect. And then I think that should open everything up, because he was doing like nettle tea and basically kelp, but that's not enough to correct.
Oh yeah, I think I was going to say do more of the nettles and the kelp. You know, I mean, he needs more of a concentration, but certainly. Well, we've got two huge whammies: the electrical piece, being an electrician, and then the fillings. Because you know, of course, you know it very well, but you know, where do they put the fillings? They put the fillings right here. We can even see on the image, right? They're going to put them in the mouth, and then where's the thyroid? Oh my gosh, look at that! The teeth and the thyroid are so surprisingly close. I wonder if they could possibly be, one could possibly be affecting the other one. So yeah, the colonics are going to be a wonderful. There's been research that has shown that literally with a colonic, that the mercury is removed out of the body. So yeah, so I mean, that's actually been studied where they've been able to measure the decrease in mercury in the body. So that is going to be a huge advantage. I mean, I would definitely recommend a full series of 6 to 12 colonics for sure.
Right. And then what we'll do is like sort of like Dr. Gary Young's Juva cleanse. We can put together the celery, the helichrysum, and the ledum, and start doing some chelation. I've got zeolite, bentonite, and all that sort of thing here too.
Oh, I think that's going to make a huge difference. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll implant that way. And then, you know, we take some oral things. We've got a few essential oils on the go. But I think once we open up those portals, which will take close to 9 colonics, you know. So
that I would definitely agree with that amount of colonics. Yeah. And the dental, the expense to do the dental removal, starting with the largest filling, is going to pay for itself and the benefits to the body. I remember when I got my dental amalgams removed years ago, and I was sick with the flu the whole night after I got them removed because my body went into such a profound detox.
Yeah, it's amazing. I remember when Dr. Ed Mahan took out my one side, I actually could feel it coming up from my feet all the way to the brain, and actually about like 5 fingers, just like a, you know, electrical wire or snake opened up in the brain in 5 different centers. And it was interesting because on the or exciting actually, I was almost having a shakedown. I was like calling it a dental orgasm, but he was laughing at me. But on the
unintentional harm caused to human humanity by dentists is immeasurable. I'm very, very well intentioned, but I don't know how many people in the world are suffering today as a result of what dentists have done to them, unfortunately.
Well, it really wasn't well intentioned because I've studied back with the non-consent. That's why I've always been with that it was deliberately done through a lobby group. They knew what was happening ahead of time. So like I said, even as a former nurse in neonatal and stuff, we still know that it's hazardous waste material. It's a neurotoxin, and the University of Calgary here has done phenomenal stuff that you can actually see. Anyone that wants to see what mercury does off-gassing on a green screen, take a look at the University of Calgary. Just put your dental off-gassing mercury. It's huge.
Oh, Karen, thank you so much. Okay, so let's run with that and keep us posted on how Lloyd is doing. By the way, were you working on him before over the past week, because his aura looked really good?
Yeah, I actually was playing with him.
Okay, yeah, it shows. Yeah, that's amazing. Okay, thank you so much for the work that you're doing. And for sure, we could get to your other case next week, or you and I might be doing an in-between session. Hopefully we can talk about that.
Yeah, I think that's the way to go. When we, you know, we've got, just to let people know, we've got people with chemotherapy and their wedding bands actually are turning black and tarnished, which is from the corrosive material.
That's disgusting. Yeah. It's terrible. Yeah. Okay, we'll talk more about this. I'm looking forward to connecting and catching up with you.
Lovely. Have a great one.
All right. And thank you, Lloyd. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you very much also.
Miss you.
All right. All right, thanks, you guys. Sorry, Karen, I didn't mean to cut you off right the second there. I just wanted to get to some of these comments because we have a lot of really good comments, you guys. Mary Lee just registered for the class, and Mary Lee, it's going to be really fun to see you again. I know you're going to love the class, and the group of people that are going to be there are absolutely phenomenal, including Carolyn Mine. You guys, if anybody's a Young Living oil distributor, Carolyn Mine is actually going to be attending this class and joining us for the Genius class as an attendee, but still, she's a wonderful resource. If you guys Do Young Living Oils. She wrote the book on essential oils and energetic balancing with the different meridians. So she's actually going to be there. We're very privileged to have her attending that class. So definitely you guys sign up for that San Diego so you can get that $50 certificate too, and your 3 golden tickets for the drawings that we'll be having there. So the $50 is only good till March 11th, you guys. Carrie says, great work and great things to come. Thank you, Carrie. And Carrie's going to be on our Genius Summit talking about the work that she does with the genius and the work that she does with astrology and the work that she does with the whales. So that's the 21st to the 23rd online on Facebook, totally free. Carrie, we can't wait to talk with you and hear from you. Karen says, hi from Switzerland. Okay, and let's see. If you use an earthing sheet on your bed, do you still need to unplug the Wi-Fi? Well, Christina, you bring up a huge can of worms with the earthing sheet. If there's problems with your electrical system, there will be problems using the earthing sheet. And so I truly caution you to make sure you're feeling better and doing better with your earthing sheet, because sometimes it makes people get worse. So it may be great for you. It has been great for a lot of people. I don't want to wrongly concern you, but just be careful because it does plug into your grounded electrical system. So that's what you're going with. You have to make sure that's working properly, but all good if it does. However, the earthing issue versus the Wi-Fi, these are 2 different types of, for example, earthing will help you with the electrical connectivity in your home with that electricity, but it doesn't necessarily help you with the microwave effect of Wi-Fi. So they're different. And Joanne says, yes, you're right, Trinidad. I'm so glad I remembered. Much love and appreciation to you, Joanne. What about not using iodine for Hashimoto's? Can you do it with selenium? Do people have reactions with Dr. C7? So this is an idea that has been promulgated, and I'm not sure correctly, Kathy, if you take iodine and you feel worse, then that is something you shouldn't take. The idea is that iodine increases the levels of thyroperoxidase, and that Hashimoto's is involved with anti-thyroperoxidase antibodies. However, if you do look at the work of Michael Brownstein and Dr. Abraham, then we do find out that people actually get much better from Hashimoto's if they take iodine. So my download on this has been that people with Hashimoto's should use some iodine, but they should only use food-based iodine like kelp or Dr. C7, and they should work in drop dosages or low dosages up to the point where they feel good. Now remember, you could use the synergistics as well. So try the synergistics within the Genius, which is in your extra modules. Use the synergistics to see if, say, Dr. C7 1 and use your good common sense too, you guys, because this isn't foolproof either. It's just an idea that you could try and see if that's helpful, or you may need to use less. Turmero is a mixture of what? It's mostly turmeric and MCT oil from Apex Energetics. Wonder if Lloyd is taking thyroid medications. I don't think he is. Now, this 1 dropperful may be too much for Lloyd because he's not responding too well to it. We would have to look at dose. We don't really have time. I've heard that tyrosine is not good to take for the thyroid. Yeah, there is some, again, controversy about that. You'll have to check it for that person. Best way to get tyrosine would be through food. So that would be right. I think Karen is right. I think the herbicides are basically a nerve gas and they make people sick too. From Grace. Thank you, Grace. Can he get a thyroid shield, says Linda. Not sure which thyroid shield you mean. LED in wire for years. Not sure what that is, Dale, but thank you for the comment. Oh, lead in wire for years. They have them for X-ray techs. Oh, a lead shield for when he works as an electrician. I think that would be an interesting idea that's probably a multi-million-dollar idea to protect electricians. All right, if you have APO 3, 4, you are harmed by statins and red yeast rice. Yeah, you guys, there's no reason that if people are willing to adopt, I've never seen one person who is willing to adopt a plant-based diet who also takes the oils out of their diet that does not get better from high cholesterol. I don't see any reason to need to use polycosanol. However, if you do have low thyroid function, it's possible your cholesterol will be elevated, in which case, Kathy, it's fine to use a polycosanol. But here's the thing. The only place that we take in cholesterol is through food. So if you're taking in eggs and you have high cholesterol, and then you're using polycosanol to lower it, what sense does that make? I don't know. These are just things to think about. You have to sort your own stuff. A lot of times I talk about these in general terms, and I'll get those one or two people, or people are just like, no matter what I do, I can't lower my cholesterol. I think it's because of my thyroid. I want to take the polycosanol. That's totally fine. I'm just telling you, in general, there's a lot of misinformation about, still in this world, about consuming, unfortunately, flesh-based foods and oils. But anyway, we can't solve all of this today. All right, so Bill says ionic detox after Genius session may be beneficial. Hey, Bill, thank you. You know, it's really funny. I think that we actually had somebody new. I don't know if Denise is here, but Denise referred Bonnie. Bonnie is new. Bonnie, if you're watching this in the recording, welcome to our community. Bonnie got the platinum package yesterday or Saturday, and also got the biofeedback practitioner program, which is fantastic. She's super excited. And Bill, that's exactly what Bonnie's going to do. She is going to be using the ionic detox, the foot bath detox. A lot of you guys feel really passionate about using the Genius with the ionic foot detox. I have one myself. I've always found it to be beneficial. The actual research on it is kind of controversial. Some people say it does nothing, but other people seem to feel amazing after having the foot detox. So something seems to be happening there. I'm totally supportive of you guys using it. All right, so we had a couple of comments. I wanted to mention again that a great holistic dentist in Tijuana, mention that name of that dentist, Mary Lee. She says, I love Carolyn Mine. Why can't I see any of the comments? The comments unfortunately come through to me, Karen. That's why I'm trying to read them. I do apologize. We don't have that type of Facebook thing where you can read others' comments, but we do have it when we do stuff on Facebook. Okay. So I've had my whole properly energetic balance and dirty energy cleaned up. Then it's up to you, Christina. If you want to remove the Wi-Fi, it's totally a personal choice. All right, so let's just read the rest of these comments. All right. I wish you guys were closer. Here, I'll have to wait until I'm richer to come down and get a treatment. Well, I've got a new office in Beaverton, Oregon, and right outside of Portland. So Grace, you know, when you're ready, that's why I have my office in Portland now. You guys, if you want to come in for a private training, or if you want to come in for a small group training, or if you just want to come in for a series of sessions, that's why I'm there. So you can come to see me in Portland. That's not that far from Washington. All right, you guys, that's about all we have time for today. I'm going to be posting this recording on YouTube and on the website. Go to awakentotalhealth.com and send me a message if there's a case that you want me to work on next week, or if you have a question for me, or if there's anything that I can answer for you. I love getting your messages at awakentotalhealth.com. Just go ahead and shoot hit the contact us button, and the message comes right to my email. You can also call me. So I have my phone number on my website, and I'm going to just write it down right here if you want to jot it down. I'm available to chat with you at any time. You can call me. If you call me, leave a message. If you're new to the Genius community, if you want a demonstration, you can go to my website and you can schedule a free 30-minute demonstration session with me. So we're available. We're right here. We're just a touch of the button away to interact with you. And I hope you come join me in San Diego. By the way, you can do payments on that, you guys. If you want to do a payment plan for the San Diego class, just shoot me a message. So everything will be posted online. Be in touch, you guys. Come to the Genius Summit. Come to the San Diego event. Join me for the practitioner programs. I'm sending you much love and positive energy for your week. Thanks again, Lloyd. Thanks, Karen. And have a great day and a great week, everyone. Take care. Be well. Bye-bye for now.